Welcome everyone. Today I have a special character guide for Ellen, the limited banner character that is incredibly powerful in the first patch of ZZZ. Now in this video, not only will we look into the combination, skill rotations, and also the best team comp for Ellen, we'll also look into how to perfectly combo, attack, and also deal the most damage with Ellen using different weapons and also using different combination of set of skills to deal the highest damage as a free-to-play player. Now if you look behind me, I have prepared a lot of those regards to weapon priorities for Ellen, different team comp setups for a variety of build, including different pads and also different synergies. We're also looking into the ways Ellen can deal more damage using different min stats, sap stats of the disc drives, and also her ideal skill combinations. We're also going to her stats and also priorities of how you want to invest in her to get the most result out of her free to play and deal the most damage. We'll also be looking into ways of getting free-to-play 4-star or A-rank weapons coming from the store, and also how would you get a S-rank weapon for free. So we're considering the ways of getting the Signal refund shop, which can be over here and you can be exchanging for certain S-rank weapons. We'll discuss this at the end of the video as well. Now before we dive into the video, I'll recommend having a look at a previous guide of how to get Ellen free to play, and this is how I got her. And also we have a variety of guides in terms of what are the best weapons for each of the characters, what are the best characters in the meta, and also what are the pets. I'll have the links of those videos available for you guys for more information. So jumping into the Ellen guide, let's briefly have a look at how she plays, then we'll go through the weapons, the best free-to-play weapons, and also how to get those weapons. So right away you can see, I'm running my Ellen currently with Lycan and also Sokaku. And my skill rotations involves perfectly defending and also assisting, and then using Ellen to do the highest damage when enemies are stunned, frozen, and also disabled. Ellen is also triggering multiple effects of her charge spell, which allows her to do a lot of ice damage. And don't worry guys, at the end of the video, I'll demonstrate all the skill rotations and also ways to perfectly dodge, perfectly combo, and deal even more damage with the combination. Now Ellen as a DPS character has a variety of damage potential. She deals a lot of damage with her ultimate, which has a really good size radius. She is extremely mobile and she can be triggering a lot of anomaly effects using a freeze combination. Together with Sokaku, who lowers the enemy's resistance, Ellen can be incredibly powerful if you do get her without any weapons. So I'm using my Ellen completely free to play, and you can see we're slaughtering those monsters very easily. Just to show you guys the combination of items I'm having, notice that my Lycan gears and also my Ellen gears, they are very basic and they're level 30, did not even upgraded artifacts or disc drives, and this works perfectly. So coming over to a note for Ellen. If you are lucky to get her on the weapon limited banner, which means you're pulling on the weapon banner, well, oh boy, you must be very lucky. It is extremely hard as a free-to-play or low-spending players to get a weapon. And if you look at my character for Ellen, I am currently using the free-to-play weapon that I will be discussing with you guys. And this is the weapon that you can exchange in the shop for the Starlight engine, which is decent for the 12% bonus attack. And yes, the best weapon of course will be the tier 0 weapon, and this was the top of the tier list. Now if you happen to have any S-rank weapon, that is great. Both of those weapons works wonderfully, and the Brimstone will increase her attack dramatically, while Steel Cushion also provides her with tons of critical rate and also additional damage from behind. She can easily come behind enemies, and this is actually a massive factor that makes her incredibly good for any of those S-rank weapons. Now as we keep going of the weapon priorities, you can start to see that the next weapon of course will be the Battle Pass weapon coming from the Cannon Rotor. This weapon provides critical chance and also additional attack and also increased damage as you hit critical attacks. Now this weapon is a little pay to win, and compared to the other weapons, I would say if you have Ellen and you really want her for Battle Pass, this might be a really good choice if you don't have any of those above weapons. So briefly coming over to the more free-to-play version of the weapon. The Starlight engine is the weapon of choice for me for Ellen at the moment. Simply because if we come over to the Galaxy store, where are we? So if we come over to the gadget store, you can see there are 2 attack weapons that can be exchanged for attacking characters. and those allows you to continuously craft those weapons as a free-to-play player, and this allows me to ascend this weapon to the maximum level should I want to invest in those. The choices are between straight superstar, which will increase her skill damage, while the other one is more straightforward with additional attack increase. So I'm currently using this weapon, and I might be ranking up this weapon to get multiple copies. So this is why I have ranked this weapon a little highly on the tier list. In comparison, the straight superstar will give her less direct consistent damage. She will deal more skill damage, but I guess I just want higher attacks for her overall damage output coming from this weapon. Now briefly talking about the choices of S-rank weapons for Ellen in the shop. As you guys know, in the residual shop, you can be getting and also exchanging for S-rank attacking weapons. There will be two choices that is available for the attacking unit. One is a Steel Curtain, and one will be the Brimstone. Now it is optional, guys, to also get those exchanges for additional summons from the limited weapon banner. We'll talk about this in a specific video. But for me personally, likely I'll exchange for the Brimstone because this is workable for all the attacking characters. Now if I do plan to run a physical attacker in the future, maybe the Steel Curtain is not bad, because this provides increased critical rate together with additional backstab damage. Most of the attackers still use some physical damage, even though we do elemental damage most of the time. So my options is to go with a Brimstone, but if I plan to have a limited banner physical damage dealer, or if I get Necromancer, then I prefer the Steel Cushion over here. Now coming over to the team comp for Ellen, I have made a number of team comps using different pads and also different characters. And the first team comp is the one I'm currently using. I have Ellen, Lycan, Sokaku, and also Shakpu. The composition of the team comp is that Ellen is on position 1, while Sokaku is on position 3. This allows Sokaku to switch into Ellen after she casts her assist and also her special skill. So let me try to show you guys over here with the combination of the skills. As we rotate the assist of characters, once we get onto Sokaku, this will allow us to rotate back into Ellen with her free swapping ability. So this is why I tend to have Ellen on position 1 and also my supporting character on position 3. Now it is possible to also run the Butler pad, and in our previous tier list of the pads we have talked about this. The two of the best pads we can have for Ellen will be the Shark Pool for additional damage with Ice Anomaly, and also Butler pad for additional energy. And this will be for Ellen and also for Lycan, and also this is incredibly good to cast more skills. Now for those of you that doesn't have Lycan or doesn't have Reyna, it's okay. We'll have different team comps that compose of other characters that will work as well. So as we keep going, we can see one of the strongest meta team comps will be Ellen, Lycan with Reyna for ultimate support, buff, and also demonstration combo. And this will allow us to have the Butler pad for additional energy regen for all three characters. This is definitely a premium setup. But those of you that doesn't have Lycan or Reyna, just running Ellen with Sokaku with any one more character will work wonderfully, because Ellen and Sokaku plus the Shark Pool will deal a lot of damage. Now in terms of disparity or matching different elements, Ellen can work with any of the S-rank characters. So here I'm running Ellen, Lycan, and also Grace for a lot of additional damage coming from electric. The similar combination can go with Ellen, Reyna, and also Grace, and the list goes on. We can have Necromancer, Lycan, Ellen, or Necromancer, Sokaku, and also Ellen. Similarly, we can also use Ellen for the fire teams, but this means we'll have less time for Ellen, but more time for the fire characters, as they tend to have more synergies and also combos. So you can see Ellen with Kodia and also Ben, and also over here we have Ellen, Soldier 11, and also Ben. Now during this time, it is possible to switch out Ben for Lucy for additional fire support, and we can switch out Shark Pool for Rocket Pool for additional fire damage anomalies. Now briefly going over to the best disc stripes and also main stats and also sap stats for Ellen. The ideal disc stripes will be coming from the Woodpecker set and also the Polar Metal set. The Polar Metal set will provide Ellen with additional ice damage, while the Woodpecker set will provide Ellen with additional critical chance. So if we come over to my Ellen at the moment, I'm actually using the 4 Woodpecker set. And of course, this is not fully upgraded. The only one is level 8, level 4, right? So this particular set allows us to have increased critical chance, and as we land critical chance, we'll be increasing our attack percentage. This is a very straightforward set, and I intend to have 4 of the woodpecker set together with my ice set for additional ice damage. Now you don't want to look at my artifacts or my disc drives because the main stats and also sub stats are not correct. If you want to invest into the purple or S rank disc drives, you should be going for main stats for critical rate and also critical damage wherever you can, and then go for penetration or ice damage is preferable. Finally, we could go for attack or energy region, but those are not ideal for the main stats. In terms of the sub stats for the disc drives, you want critical rate whenever you can and comes back to critical damage. Penetration attack percent is also preferable, and finally flat attack is okay for Alan for additional damage. Now before we move on to the skill rotations and also combos, I do want to briefly highlight the reason we want critical chance is because Alan has increased critical damage with the skills and also abilities, and this is when we want to use her charge Scissor Strike, and this allows her to deal even higher damage. Now in terms of the preference for leveling up, I only have Alan leveled up for those 2 of the talents. I haven't got on to the 3rd one because the resource and also energy spent is actually quite high, so there's no rush after the first 2. Now of course, if you're doing the weekly hunt, you should be collecting materials for Alan, and this allows you to unlock the next 2 perk once you have more energy to farm the rest of the materials. In terms of the preference for leveling up the basic skills, I'll prioritize on basic attack and a little bit into dodge, but not a lot. I actually prefer assist and also special attack for Alan to be leveled up as well. And finally, chain attack is not bad. So my priority is going with basic attack and then followed by special attack and also assist. And then my dodge and also my chain attack is not going to be the highest, but I'm still happy to level those whenever I have spare materials. The reason I don't use dodge much is because I'll be using perfect defense as I switch out of characters to deal even more damage. So coming over to a skill rotation for Alan and also the combination with the team synergy. Now one of the biggest highlight of Alan of course is to dash, then sprint, and then gain the supercharge. And then when you press and hold your basic attack, you'll start the charge ability. This is actually quite important as you try and also understand this on the demo. Usually when I start a fight, I'll always start like this. And it's very important for you guys to learn this combination. And once you get used to it, it's incredibly speedy and very, very fun. So this is actually really good as you try Alan using this particular combo. I'll show you guys again. So make sure guys, once you have Alan, always learn this combo to start the fight or to get out of damage and then to come back into the fight to deal massive damage. Right away as you start the fight, you can charge and try to stack up your charge. Here I couldn't get it directly, and as you can see, I am using the combination to perfectly defend with swapping out characters. I tend to find that as you fight the monsters with the Alan team comp, if I'm continuously dodging with Alan, it's great, but I'm not getting the most benefits and also damage boost out of those other characters. So instead of dodging most of the time, I'll be switching out of characters, and this allows us to perfect defend. And usually you do have a wider window to perfect defend. And again, as you can see, each time the bosses flashes with attack, we'll be switching into another character. This allows me to also trigger the character's unique effect ability and gain additional damage boost for Alan as we switch her back. Now whenever you can use Alan's special EX ability to deal additional damage and also freeze enemies. During this time, make sure you spend the energy onto other characters to gain additional damage buffs, and also then come back to Alan for additional physical attacks and also ice attack. Now most of the time the rotations is straightforward, as long as you guys get used to the combination of the charge attack, which is incredibly good as you gain a speed boost. After the speed boost, if you hold on to your basic attack and then release, you'll be doing additional ice damage, and continuous attack allows you to dash behind enemies. Together with a combination of the charge attack, you'll be doing additional critical damage because of Alan's passive. Again guys, as you can see, I'm constantly switching in and also out of characters each time the boss flashes. Of course, at the end of the fight I got a little lazy, but you can see the combination. My priority of rotation will be coming from Sogaku together with Lycan to stun and also disable enemies. Once enemy is stunned and all frozen, I'll finish up with Alan. Now whenever I can, I'll try to switch into Sokaku into Alan, and this will allow us to deal even higher damage. And don't be too worried if you switch into Lycan. And once you cast Sokaku's ultimate, you do have a free swap into Alan for additional damage. Always get this, and this allows you to deal even higher damage as you cast your skills, perfectly defend, and then rotate your abilities to finish the bosses off. Now this was a pretty smooth test run after getting my Alan and also getting her to level 30. What I do is I'll share this small 2-minute replay of the boss fight with you guys to see my rotations. Now I'm not saying I'm the strongest Alan player and I just got her in 3 hours. I'll be updating her skill rotations and also combos in the end game as we play higher dungeons and also as we push for more challenge modes for you guys.
Don't mess up my nails. Sweep it up in. I see. Out of the way. Take this. Shark Nami!
I'm at your disposal.